It's a learning process. I mean, I knew about products, but I didn't know how to run a business and how to do everything on my own. I didn't know accounting. I didn't know anything else. It kind of just needed to happen. Am I going to just dabble in this and work another job and then not have any time with my family? Because, I mean, it was 2 full-time jobs at that point. Why don't I just quit the one where I have to answer to other people and make this one work?
Today, we've got U.S. Marine Corps veteran and founder of K-Bar Soap Company, Chris McKinney. After serving as a combat engineer, Chris ditched the corporate world, started hand-making grenade-shaped soaps in his garage, and turned it into one of the fastest-growing veteran-owned grooming brands in America. Bold scents, zero chemicals, and a mission to help guys shower with freedom. I'm loving it.
Yes, I've seen the soaps. They look amazing.
Yes, and Chris is a straight-shooting, no BS entrepreneur who still hand-makes every bar. Wow, ships every order, and somehow still finds time to wrench on his 82 Chevy C10, hang with his family. Also time to live out the motto of shower with freedom every single day.
Hoorah.
That's a pretty cool bio. That's one of the most fun ones to read.
Welcome, Chris.
I have to get into this. What was that light bulb moment when you finally said out loud, I think I'm going to do soap? How did that happen?
So I took whatever job I could get right out of the Marine Corps. I was always mechanically inclined. I had raced cars, I had dirt track racing, and all kinds of stuff. So I just got a job right out of the Marine Corps because I wasn't about, I didn't want to live off unemployment and all that other stuff. I've always brought up to provide and had a good work ethic. So started working, had various jobs, and basically got into research and development, became a test engineer, then got my degree. And then I moved up through product development at Husqvarna. So I made it in corporate, into management and then all the things. And it just wasn't fulfilling at all at that point. Mm-hmm. Mm. My next level step was director. And because I didn't have 10 years of product management experience, I couldn't be a director. I'd only been product management for 2 years. And so they brought somebody in without any outdoor power equipment experience whatsoever and wanted me to train them for 6 months to a year. And then my job was going to go away. So I kind of realized that no matter how good I perform for anybody else, I need to do something on my own to where I can kind of control my own destiny. And there was nobody that catered to like the manly men in the soap space. Dr. Squatch was the biggest one that was out there back then. Right. I started this in 2016. So I've been doing it, this October will be 10 years.
Wow.
And kept working, took a job closer to the house to where I could come home at lunch, fulfill orders, do whatever. And then, and I've been full-time at it for the past 6 years now.
Wow.
I needed something to do, and I always tell people this story, and it's kind of hard to believe. I really liked a place we visited on vacation, and I wanted to do it locally here, and I realized I did not have enough money, so I got kind of dejected. I tried a couple things, couple business ideas that didn't really pan out over those previous 5 years, and then so I just Googled how to start a business with no money, and a soap business was like 6th on the list, and I was like, well, wait a minute, how could I put my own niche and be creative in it, and nobody was doing anything. Dr. Squatch kind of catered to the more hipster vibe, and nobody really made anything that manly men or alpha men would want to use, the masculine things that were natural.
Yeah.
And I just went down the path. I knew it had to be a grenade. A grenade's ergonomically meant to fit in your hand to begin with, and so how can I incorporate this into a bar of soap, make it lay flat? And then it just snowballed from there, and I just went hard with it.
Yeah. Like literally.
Well, and I know because you shared this before, but I think it's interesting. You already hinted at what I was about to ask you about why the grenade, like why. I get it would make sense because it's a tie back to your service. But I just think it's funny because most of us look at soap and see, soap. And you're thinking, oh, I need to make this into a grenade. And you had a mold made, you had it patented. So what was that journey like, learning how to do that?
Well, so to me, it was basically like a 3-tier approach to even. So I knew it had to be. Men are visually, like we are visually stimulated by nature, as you can probably attest, Kurt. Something visually grabs our attention first, and then we think it's cool. And then so it had to look cool. It couldn't just be a square bar of soap and then get me to convert men from using chemical leaden body wash and store-bought ivory and everything else. It's nothing more than detergent at the end of the day. So it had to be visually appealing first. So I was like, what can I do for that? Grenade makes sense. They're meant to fit in the palm of your hand just for easy deployment. And I was like, well, I can incorporate that in a bar of soap, but it has to lay flat to work on a soap dish. And then The second tier of that was to get men to ask questions about it. And then I could explain to them the differences in what I produce and what you buy mass produced off a store shelf. And then the third tier is them to actually use it and to realize that using something all natural is different and it treats your skin a lot different and your skin feels way different after using it. So that was kind of my entire approach to all that.
If you're listening to this show, it's probably because you understand something most people don't. Marketing to Liberty spenders isn't just about ads or tactics, it's about trust. And in the real world, trust moves through relationships. And that's why private introductions and deal flow are such a core part of what we do.
So FastPass is a private introduction and deal flow network for Christian and conservative leaders who already have influence and want to scale fast. It's not open networking, it's intentional introductions between people who already share alignment. We've seen one client land a $25,000 opportunity from a single introduction. Another told us that FastPass has become his largest source of referrals, not because of volume, but because of fit. And yet another closed her equity round at a key moment just due to the right introduction.
When you book a one-to-one consult with us, we're not handing you a list or making big promises. Instead, we're having a real conversation about what you're building, who you want to meet, and whether FastPass makes sense for this season for you. So no pressure, no hustle, and no awkward pitch from us.
Yeah. If you're ready to grow through relationships instead of forcing everything on your own, head to libertyspenders.com/FastPass and book a one-to-one consult with us.
In worst case, you leave with clarity. Best case, the right introductions change the trajectory of what you're building.
Okay, back to the episode. For anybody listening, you've got, from what I don't know that if you have product design experience in your background, but I imagine you had to go through a lot of testing to figure out the right mold. Did you reach out to get partners to help you with that? Because I'm just fascinated that you went through and then you figured all those pieces out all the way to getting it patented.
I was somewhat into product development with my previous employer in corporate. So I kind of had a little bit of that, but definitely not in the soap space. Like I mentioned before, it was outdoor power equipment. I was over packaged parts. So any of the chainsaw blades, all the other stuff, lawnmower blades, I was over that and all the big retail box stores. So somewhat experienced, but definitely not in this category. So I kind of knew the steps that I needed to go through and I kind of knew the process, and I had a good patent attorney to help me out. She happened to be a Navy pilot. So she kind of
awesome.
helped me out quite a bit. And,
and now you've sold 100,000 grenade bars. Is that right?
Yes, it is.
That's amazing.
Over now, we're counting. So it would have been more. And I know that's coming up in a little bit. It's it'll be a follow-up.
Well, it's something you created. You created this from nothing, right? And it started off, like you said, as kind of a side hustle to now, doing it full time and have been doing it full time now for a number of years. So congratulations to you, because that's a big accomplishment.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
When was the moment you said, okay, this isn't just my casual extra time thing. This is now big enough. I'm going to go after it full time. Was there a moment when you said, I'm doing this? It's
going to be cliche, but that whole Steve Harvey video, you have to take a leap. It was, I can continue treating this like a side job or like everything, or I can create the problem of having to make money and go in it, full force and see where it can go. And it's a learning process. I mean, I knew about products, but I didn't know how to run a business and how to do everything on my own. I knew certain facets of business, but I didn't know accounting. I didn't know anything else. I knew the manufacturing side. It kind of just needed to happen. It was like, am I gonna just dabble in this and work another job and then not have any time with my family? Because it was 2 full-time jobs at that point. And so why don't I just quit the one where I have to answer to other people and make this one work? And it's worked. It's not all roses. I love how people say that, oh, you're a business owner, you must be rich. And it's like that misnomer. It's like, wait a minute. No, the money's in the business and I do everything that I can to keep the business growing. So I feel like I have less now after owning a business than I did working because business makes its money. And I don't really take a paycheck. I just keep it back in the business and just because I want to see it keep growing.
Yeah.
But that was it. It was just that one, that leap, take the leap. And that kind of, I don't know, made people take me more serious. People took me more serious if they knew I did it full time and not just kind of as a side gig too.
It's not so different than us 20 years ago saying, okay, we're going to do this. And you just have to figure out a way to have enough clients to pay your bills. But I love the world you're working in, because as a guy, you're 100% right. There's not a lot of great, cool, masculine, I want to use this kind of products out there like this. You know, we just ran into a great brand at Turning Point's event called Masculine Man that makes deodorant. And I thought, this smells like a man, you know. And, you know, Old Spice used to kind of have that feeling, but they've kind of gone hipster recently too, with sort of how they talk about man's deodorant. And you think, I'm not messed up my vibe. It's these commercials with Old Spice where the woman wants to use the man's deodorant. And I think, well, that doesn't make it my thing anymore, right?
No, so there's two different things.
Yeah, I'm pumped about the grenade. And then you also make some really interesting scents with some cool themes to them. So what was the inspiration behind some of that?
So it was all meant from my Marine Corps lens. So every name that I come up with was my Marine Corps lens. I've got one called Cash Sales, and that's where, you know, you first walk in and get all your brand new camis issued, and it has a certain scent to it. So I would take essential oil and drop some into, I'd do little blends and everything, and I'd get a smell as close as I could to that. So it smells like you walk into a brand new clothing issue store. So then you smell as fresh as Cash Sales. And so a lot of it was played off of words. Firewatch is, you know, at night, you got to stay awake and watch the guns and all that stuff. Then napalm in the AM. You know, everybody loves the smell of napalm in the AM in the morning, right? So it's all just kind of ties in. Whiskey and Bad Decisions. Ofa May was the first female Marine, so I made a lavender bar with her name in it because it was my first bar that kind of made for females. So they all kind of tie back into to the Marine Corps to a certain extent. I may change that moving forward, but because if you haven't ever served or nobody served, then the names won't resonate with them as much as it would, you know, the other 97% of the population. So I'm going to start naming them a little bit more generic, but still keep my vibe with it.
I love the vibe.
Yeah, ditch the bar, grab the grenade.
Yeah, well, it makes for a good brand, right? I mean, that's the unique property. You're making an all-natural bar soap. There are others that are like that, but you're doing something really unique with the way it appears and the interesting smell. So I love it. I love the way you're sticking close to the brand there. And I also just love your story of just building this thing in your garage. I mean, it's just a true made in America, hoorah kind of story. But I know from some of our communication, one of the challenges that every business owner has that you're having to work your way through is, okay, how do I separate my time between making bars and shipping them, but also making key business decisions and working on your business, like some would say, instead of in your business. So how have you dealt with some of those challenges? What are some of the things you've faced there and as you continue to grow?
So up until about 3 months ago, I had done 100% of this business outside of my son helping me package occasionally, stuff like that. It had been me for 8 years straight. So, I mean, I had done 95%, I'd say, of everything. My son would package to earn some money in high school. He's since moved off to college, and then I was back to doing it without any help. And I was like, wait a minute. I needed to hire somebody a long time ago to help me do this because I'm happy when I'm making things and I'm happy when my mind's occupied. So it didn't really dawn on me. And that's what I said. That's why I alluded to before that I could have been a lot bigger. I could have sold a lot more bars if I would have just quit. If I would have learned how to delegate sooner on in this and delegated the tasks that didn't actively make money. If it, you know, I know you guys know what I'm saying. I need to be out selling it and not in here making it. There was one way to do things and it was my way because this was my baby. So I'm trying to learning to delegate more. And I hired another young Marine. He's absolutely killing it. He's crushing everything. He's packaging for me, taking soap out of the mold, fulfilling orders. And now I'm teaching him how to make the soap too. So if I can get a utilitarian person in here, then I can be out selling it all the time and I'll backfill the other position And I figured 2 people in here and me out selling, I can exponentially grow this thing. Because I need to be out talking to people. There's not a question that people can ask me about the business that I don't know. So I just need to be the one out doing it.
And this is the realization I feel like every entrepreneur has in their journey. And there are usually, depends on the industry, but there are usually revenue points at which like you have to grow yourself, right? It all starts with the owner and the founder and the personal development. And you have to grow and push yourself to another level in order to make room to have that business growth. And that's the first thing. What you just described is the hardest thing, which is, but I know everything. And I know if I do it, I'll do it right. Or at least we tell ourselves that, right? Mm-hmm. It's a control, right? We're control freaks. And especially in an industry where you've created a product that was in your brain, you saw it through to fruition, you were building it. And so it's that first threshold of control. And even that expression, I think, is a Tony Robbins expression. But we're always trying to expand our threshold of control, where we will allow other people to help us, where we'll delegate things maybe that we're not good at, to eventually delegate things even that we're good at, so that we can do things and expand. And so I get the pride, I'm sure, that you felt of, I'm making every one of these myself. You know, I'm pouring my heart, my soul into these, and then recognizing, well, gosh, I can do a lot more for the business, right? I can grow this exponentially if I allow other people to help and take part.
I can. And that's one of the shortcomings. I wish I would have done it a lot sooner, because I look back at it to say, you know, if you wait till you have a kid till you can afford it, you'll never have a kid. It's like, so I'm going to hire somebody and then I will figure out how to pay for them, because then that additional time that it frees up of mine, I'll sell more stuff and then I'll just justify it. So I created the problem of having to pay him, right? So then now I'll fix the problem. But I should have done it a long time ago, because it's allowed me to do way more. Like, it's unbelievable when you hire one person. It's almost not like 50-50. And I've talked to other business owners. He said it's almost like a 70-30. When you can delegate the stuff that anybody can do, it frees you up to be that much more successful or that much more focused on growth.
Well, Chris, I'll just tell you one thing. If I can, I'll put a coaching hat on, and it's something we often always do. So I'm going to speak to everybody listening right now. Every owner, executive, doesn't matter, parenting, we all think this, where we have a realization, we have an aha moment, and we take a turn, is to just make sure we're not beating ourselves up too much. Oh, I should have done it a long time ago, because when's the right time to make a right decision? Now. And you've done it. You've done it. Give yourself credit for that, a pat on the back, and move forward. Because what I think is so amazing is, even preparing for this conversation, that you were very clear about sharing. What really lights me up is helping to share with other entrepreneurs and founders how important it is to work on the business, not just in the business. And so I think that's a real credit to you, because you're really wanting to make sure other people hear that. And if you hadn't gone through that pain, you wouldn't be so passionate about helping other people in that way. So just something to think about.
No, thank you for that. I need to hear it.
You turned the corner, my man.
That's great. And you've made a good first hire, because that's often where the next mistake comes.
Yes.
Is you hire the wrong person. Or the cheapest person you can find, and so it sounds like you've got the right person and you're really poised for growth. And, hopefully even some of our listeners will check him out. I'm going to pause for a moment right in the middle of this thing. If you're listening in right now and you want to get some of this soap, it's www.kbarsoapco.com. That's KBARSOAPCO.com, right? So they can buy it right there.
That's correct. Yes, we're primarily online.
Yes, and I'm going to get some. I'm going to get some today for myself. I'm so excited about this. I'm just picturing, because I'll tell you what I have right now in my shower is a pink bar of soap right now, and I can replace it with a grenade. So
I know. You have a sparkle. You have a sparkle in your eye right now about that.
Yeah, I have it's something that somebody,
was left over.
We got a gift packet from somebody, a bunch of frilly, girly soaps and stuff that we both are kind of working through. And I thought, that's what I have.
Hey, waste not, want not. But yes.
So yes, I'm gonna get on kbarsoapco.com and buy some. So hopefully other folks do it too.
See, that's one of my main things that you just alluded to is most men could care less what they shower with. It's just whatever their wife buys them, whatever their girlfriend buys them, whatever they get as a gift. So that's been a lot of my consumer education piece that I'm trying to like convert guys over to actually care about what they shower with. You can still use my bars of soap because they look like a grenade and keep all your man cards. You're not showering frou-frou stuff. It's made for men by men. So.
Yeah.
Well, and you're right about all the chemicals. I think more and more people are waking up to that and understanding what we're putting into our bodies and how that has an impact, even on fragrances. Right. And so.
Well, what you might find, though, here's what I think might be interesting. You might find that you have a high propensity of female buyers because they're getting it as gifts for their husbands.
Exactly.
Or their boyfriends.
If they're the ones making the purchasing decisions, you may want to think about that. Do some market research. I agree.
Yeah.
To see if maybe you have some luck with the women buying it for their men.
Yeah.
I do the Southern Christmas show here in Charlotte. It's supposedly the biggest Christmas show in the country. It's because it's in my backyard. But it's 90% women that come through that show, and I tend to do fairly well at it because they buy it for men. And so I realized early on that was one of my barriers to entry is that the men wouldn't necessarily buy it themselves. But if I can get the women to buy it for them and then they realize, oh, this is actually some pretty good stuff. And then they return. So
and they pick the scent that they like. Kurt mentioned this other company that we just saw at Turning Point's America Fest. And I was glad I was there. We were sniffing it out and I made sure I got something that I liked. And I'm like, this is going to be nice,
Yes. Yeah. Well, and then, of course, as a dude, I can shower with freedom, which is an awesome tagline. Where did that come from? When did you come up with shower with freedom as sort of a tagline for the company?
So freedom obviously was a part of my background because I fought for freedom. I was in Iraq, did all the other stuff. But to me, what it actually means and the background behind it is a shower free from chemicals, a shower free from detergents. So that is the freedom that I'm talking about too. So it's kind of a twofold or a two-tier kind of slogan or catchy because when you start researching the chemicals that they put in this thing, skin is the largest organ of your body. It absorbs whatever is put on it. So why would you just slather chemicals all over yourself? And that's kind of what, and even some of these companies that call themselves natural, there's a gray area with what fragrance oils that are synthetic that can actually be deemed natural. And it doesn't make sense. I don't use anything synthetic in anything that I make. You don't have to use that. People use it because it'll smell stronger, it'll last longer, or whatever. And I want to take a step back or two. Like whenever I started this, Dr. Squatch, whenever I mentioned they were like the only one in the space, I went on and read every one of their negative reviews, and I formulated every one of my recipes to fix their negative reviews. So I felt like even if I could take their defactors or whatever, or build a better mousetrap that way, that's kind of how I created my bar. So I actually was able to make one all natural and last twice as long. I did test engineering. So I did side-by-side testing with them on how long they lasted. I'd use one day, let it dry, use the other the same way. And I got 10 more uses out of a bar of mine than I did a bar of Dr. Squatch. So that's how so all my test engineering background and everything came into how I developed these bars to be the better mousetrap.
Chris, that is outstanding. And I just don't even want to gloss over it because anybody listening, it's like, take it from me who, has owned a marketing agency for basically my entire professional career. And there's so much emphasis on that and sales and marketing. But what's amazingly powerful is the love and care that you took to understand the customer, what the product you're trying to build. You're looking at competitors to see how can I solve for those things that customers are really experiencing and how can I make a better product for them to solve. And I just think sometimes that gets a little bit lost as we're chasing sales, we're chasing the next deal or our numbers. And yet there's so much power and care into that when people know what you've put into to make that product have such high quality, especially something so important as what you're putting on your body, right? That's going into your skin. So I just commend you. And I just think that's something for everybody to listen. Have I done that? Have I gone and seen what my competitor does? Am I looking for opportunities to make what I offer better?
All right. He sells ammo cans.
Yeah, I
that you could put soap into.
That
is awesome. Yes.
I know.
All right, people, you've got to go, if you're listening, you got to go see these. The ammo cans, that's a great gift thing. Giving somebody an ammo can full of soap. I think we're always looking for cool stuff to give away here. And everything's the same. I'm going to give people a candy basket or buy somebody a bottle of wine.
know that's what you need is glucose spikes. Give everybody,
But I'll tell you, ammo cans full of grenade soap is probably the coolest.
Pretty unique. I mean,
yeah, that's awesome. And maybe also part of what you're doing when you're showering with freedom is you give back to veteran causes and canine units some out of what you make from the business. So tell us about that. Are there some organizations specifically that you love that you support?
There are two specifically. I'll start with the one that I've been working with forever, and it's Operation Turbo. She is out of Hilton Head, South Carolina, but she sends out what's called boxes of home, and units can request boxes from her for entire units if they're not getting mail or they've been deployed to, like anybody that's forward deployed, no matter what the reason, she sends it. Her cause resonates with me so much because I remember my time in country, my time deployed. There was Marines, sailors, what have you, that never got a piece of mail from anybody stateside. They didn't know that they had anybody here that cared about them. And as soon as I found out I've been supporting her and for 8 years, ever since I found out about her, I would send her stuff to donate. And then I've got a bar on my site that's called the Giving Tree Bar Soap that I sell at cost. So if anybody wants to send a bar to her through me, they can, and then I'll match it. And then I send stuff all the time because knowing that you have support from people that you're actually trying to defend back home, morale is a thing, and it's a morale booster. And too often senior leadership tends to forget about morale, and that's my lens. And that's why it just really impacted me. So Operation Turbo and Diane, she is wonderful, wonderful people.
Great shout out.
We'll get that also in our show notes for other people who want to be involved in that. You said it's Operation Turbo out of Hilton Head.
Operation Turbo. OperationTurbo.com. And then she's got an Amazon cart that anybody can buy, anybody can donate, anybody can do anything they do. I went down there and helped her pack a box before and stuff. It's pretty awesome. That's what she does. And then the newest one that I started working with, I developed a all natural bar soap for dogs called Doggo Decon. And that is in direct conjunction. So a portion of the proceeds of the sales of those bars will go to the Canine Responder Foundation. And Rick's a firefighter by trade, but he's a dog trainer on the side. And so he'll go with the South Carolina Law Enforcement Division when they kind of break up fighting dog rings, and the dogs have to be displaced. So he takes them and retrains them, rehomes them, fosters them, and, basically makes good dogs out of these that were just mistreated animals for the bulk of their lives. So he donates them to first responders, military. So that's kind of another cause that means a lot to me. So those are my top two.
Yes, the Doggo Decon soap for dogs, right? Is one that's connected with the canine.
$19.99.
Yes, I was going to ask you about that because I thought, that's also an interesting. I know a lot of people. Our CFO here at our company has a whole family of dogs. She's got 6 or 7 of them, and she holds birthday parties for them and the whole deal. I thought, now that's somebody who would buy Doggo Decon soap.
Yeah, she fosters. I mean, she's amazing. And people love their fur babies, as they should.
Well, before we get into our kind of lightning round rapid fire section, I thought it would be cool for us to do a bit of dreaming here. It's 5 years from now. You've hired some people and good things are happening. What's the goals for the company? What kind of things would you like to see happening?
My goal this year is to grow and because I have the capacity, because I'm finally out of my house. I have a facility. I have all the things to do it with, because I did not pursue wholesale accounts from my house because I couldn't keep up. My capacity wasn't there. Now with the increased capacity, I'm going to focus more on getting in more retailers, but I want to start smaller than I did before. I want to go mom and pops, gift shops, and just go be all over there before I get, because I'm not a Walmart brand. I never will be a Walmart brand. And I have no desire to be there. I don't agree with a lot of things that they do, and I still want to reach more people. So my goal is if everything's running soundly here, I need to be out selling it, hitting these shows, meeting people, being, what does it say? Shaking hands and holding babies or
Yeah.
Yeah, it used to be shaking hands, kissing babies, but there's nobody's doing much of that anymore. But
not shaking babies and holding hands.
Right. Yeah, make sure you don't get those reversed. Right. That's important. Well, I think that's a great strategy, Chris. And even though we've not met before, that's you will find out that is 100% what we help people do. And so I second that thought. And this ecosystem is such a tremendous place that is so wired in that if you can build some of those key relationships, there's no question of your growth. The professionalism with which you present your things, the thought, the care. So that's why we have you on. That's why we're rooting for you. So
thank you.
Absolutely.
I think it's a great segue to head into our lightning round. All right. So Chris, we ask every guest the same 3 questions. We try to keep it 90 seconds or less. There's no buzzer. We're on the honor system here. So you're looking back on your life decades and decades from now, and you're thinking about your legacy. How will you know you've had a life well lived?
That my kids are successful and they are thriving. They have their own family. They have what they want out of life. That's really my version of success. It's not as a business owner. It's how good did I raise my kids. So that's my focus. And this has allowed me the time to not miss sporting events, to not miss anything. So the time that the business has allowed for me to spend with my family has been worth its weight in gold. So no matter what happens with the business, obviously I want to see it grow. I want to see my kids both lead successful adult lives. And I think I'll be fulfilled in everything that I do.
Well, and you said your son had helped you out with the business too. So that's tremendous.
He did. He had his own candle business too. So I helped him.
Hey.
Business. He made mandals, but then it allowed me to teach him profit loss and everything. And it allowed me, because they don't teach it in schools anymore, on how to just manage money, own a business, marketing, all the things. It allowed me to give him a little segue into that and teach him that you don't just necessarily have to go work for somebody else the whole life.
Love it. Love it.
If my daughter listens to this, I asked her what she wanted to make, and she makes lip gloss. So she makes Daisy Chick lip gloss because that's what she was into. So now that allows me to teach her the same thing. So it's
how cool.
Are
they still in school? Like teenage? Like just give us a range. How old are your kids roughly?
My son just started college.
Okay.
So he kind of doesn't do much anymore. He made candles the last time he come home at Christmas. Okay. And then my daughter's 13, so she'll go into high school next year.
Oh, okay. You got lots of room. Okay.
I found it on the website, Daisy Chick Natural Lip Gloss right here.
I love it.
So this is like the only thing for teenage girls on my entire website.
Yes.
I love it. Family affair.
How about this? This is our chance to talk about something completely different.
Okay.
90 seconds on any topic that's been interesting you lately. It just needs to be off topic. So it's not about your soap business or about your business. What's something, maybe it's a hobby you're into, spiritual insight, good book you've read, sports team you're a big fan of.
Yeah. What's something that's captured your
soliloquy
imagination
about how much you hate Tom Brady? I won't object, whatever.
I mean, I can definitely end with how much I hate Tom Brady because I'm a Colts fan. But one of the things that really made an impact in my life that I try to mention every time is I met a group of guys called F3, and F3's everywhere. I don't know if you guys are familiar with it.
Yes. Yes.
So
I have some friends. Yes.
And I had kind of got away from my faith quite a bit. It got me through my time in Iraq and my time in the service and everything, and I kind of strayed from it. But when I found out about these guys that get up insanely early, I get out of bed at 4:30, and then there's a group of older guys that walk, so because they couldn't do the workouts or anything like that. And I did work out a little bit, but I found that me walking with these guys that are very strong in their faith, they're all 60 and 70 life experiences. I start my day talking to people that have vast experience on life. They're good people. They're good Christian men. And it has been so refreshing. I've been doing that for 3 years now. And it's not about the fitness. It's about the mental acuity that it gives me just to have these conversations and bounce ideas off of people that have the life experiences that I need to learn from. And it's so F3 is absolutely worth going. Good bunch of guys. They do stuff all the time with the community. They're always helping people in need, and it is a wonderful organization. So I highly recommend anybody checking that out.
Yeah, I don't know much about them. Is this also a military related or veteran related, or is this what's the genesis of F3?
It was started by a guy that was in the Army. It was started by a group of guys that were in the Army, but it's not veteran. There's only a couple veterans that are out there with us when we do the workouts. It's not a large veteran presence, at least in my area. A lot of cops, but most of the people go to the same church, and that's and that's kind of got me going to that church occasionally and getting more into it. So it's definitely worth it, and definitely a good bunch of guys. But all you got to do is go online, find out where they're working out. They're all over the country, and just show up.
I think I know more about F3 than you do. Which is shocking.
I don't know anything about it. I thought he was talking about formula.
I'm like, I know exactly.
He is the female variant of it, so and that's the same thing. But it's pretty awesome bunch. You get together, work out, have fellowship, you pray at the end, and have a circle of trust, and then so you can share everything and ask for prayers, and then you go about your day. So it starts your day off really good.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, the last thing we do in our lightning round is we wanted to make sure you get a good 90-second pitch time in for K-Bar Soap Company. So I want to pretend they've not been listening, and people just fast forwarded to this moment right now. What is K-Bar Soap Company? Who should be buying from you? What are you getting them, and how do they find you?
All right, so let's see. So we are a veteran-owned, American-made brand offering a superior alternative to the mass-produced big business grooming products, basically. We make all premium, all natural grooming products using the best natural ingredients we can source, manufactured in the United States for consumers who care about quality, craftsmanship, independence, and spending their money intentionally, like with intent. We're known for our grenade-shaped soaps, but it's not just a novelty. We make every product by hand in small batches, built to last. You heard, everything we went through before with trying to make sure we produce a quality item for people to spend their hard-earned money on. So when you purchase from us, you're supporting veteran ownership, American manufacturing, and the values that matter: personal responsibility, independence, and freedom of choice, really. So we encourage people to ditch the bar of mass-produced soap, ditch the body wash, ditch the chemical-filled shower gels, and just choose something better for themselves. And grab a grenade, spend your money intentionally, and basically just shower with freedom every day.
Yeah. Well, this has been awesome. It's been great to have you on, for sure.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Folks who have been listening in, you can find Chris and his great soap products at kbarsoapco.com. I've been spending some time there already and absolutely excited about getting some cool stuff.
Chris, thanks for taking the time. Thanks for sharing your story and inspiring other people. For those of you listening, we really respect you and honor your time. We know you have a lot of choices, so thanks for spending it with us. If you found value in this episode, don't forget to like and subscribe so you don't miss anything in the future. Until next time.